going to talk to you today about the Mesa Boogie Studio 22 combo that I've got here. So I'm just going to show you what controls it's got and how to get some good sounds out of it. So let's take you through the controls. It's a 2-channel amp. It has a clean channel and a gain channel. There's your usual guitar input there, that's where you plug in. And then there's the foot switch for the channel change on the front. That's a gain knob which is shared between the 2 channels. That's your master volume for your clean channel, and there's a master volume for the heavy channel. And then you've got your standard tone knobs, treble, bass and middle there. There's also a spring reverb unit and a presence control. And there's a graphic equalizer as well that can be bought in or out via a foot pedal, which I've got rigged up here. That enables you to do lots of different things that you couldn't do with a normal amp, as in EQ wise. I'll demonstrate a few of them for you in a minute. So let's have a look at the back panel now. So starting from the left hand side, as you can see, you've got the sort of things you'd expect to find. It's got your standard direct level out, which is for sending for a PA man or for recording direct out of your amp. There's 3 speaker outs, so you can put extension cabinets on if you want to. That's actually the EQ foot switch there, the EQ bypass foot switch, which I've got wired up. And below is an effects send and returns, so you can put effects racks in should you want to. Things like the Boss multi-effects rack with modulation. You can put choruses, flanges, delays, reverbs, so you can patch in effects racks if you want to. So it's time to try a few sounds out. So I'm going to start on the neck pickup, which is that real stratty sort of Jimi Hendrix tone. That's a nice tone. So if I go up with the gain, I'll just bring the master volume down a bit. So let's go up to 10 on the gain now, on the clean channel. So I've switched on to a humbucker. I'm actually going to drop the mid a bit. So it's a much thicker tone on the humbucker. Great for sort of chords, power chords. So I'm on the middle pickup now. So let's bring the gain down to about 6. Got the bottom end on 8, middle down 3. Let's just back the treble off a little bit. So it gives a nice sort of fruity sound. So if I turn the mid up, amp really, and it definitely sounds better using a humbucker when you just reduce the middle to about 3 or 4. Whereas when you go on the single coil, it tends to like a little bit more. So let's check out the lead channel. Let's bring the gain down to sort of 4 or 5 and go on to the lead channel. So it's a nice fat chordy sort of sound. Let's up the gain a bit more. Like I say, I'm only on 3 gains, so let's put it on 10, so we're really ripping now. I'll just bring the master down a little bit. So it gives a really nice heavy rock sound. graphics actually bypassed at the moment. There's no graphics, so even though the graphics set is actually not in at the moment, we're simply using the controls on the amp alone, no graphic yet. So you can get a bit more bitey if you want. Let's bring the presence and the treble up. So it's got a really good top end on this boogie. So that's pretty fierce. The top end's really good. So let's have a look at this graphic then. So there's various things you could do. Now, for instance, I've cut the 80 Hz, I've also cut the 240 and the 750. So I've cut all the mids and the lows out. Let's start on the clean channel. Let's say you're playing some funk. And then you want to go to a real sort of Chili Peppers type section. Well, you can whack the graphic in. So that's the graphic in now. And that's off. And in. So that's one example of using the graphic to become a totally different tone, but you're still on the same channel, but what we've done is alter the EQ by bringing in the graphic on the foot switch. So in effect it like gives you 4 channels from the 2, simply by using the graphic EQ as an extra. It's a really neat trick. So let's do the same thing on the heavy channel. This time I'm going to use it as like a frequency booster. You could use your clean channel as your clean channel, you could use your lead channel as your rhythm channel. So you're playing heavy chords, and then when you want to go to a solo, you could stamp the pedal on, bring in the graphic and get the volume and tone boost. So I'll demonstrate. So I'll play a few chords, I'll whack the pedal in, and I'll play a bit of lead. So I'm going to go on the humbucker to demonstrate this. So here we go. In fact, let's just take the mid down because I'm on the humbucker, back to 4. Here we go. So you can use it in multiple ways to boost the volume or change the tone and just make a bit of a difference. So it's a really neat trick. So it's a great sounding amp, fantastic. Well, that's covered everything really. So there she is, the Mesa Boogie Studio 22 Combo. It's a great sounding amp. It's actually all valve with a valve preamp and a valve power amp. And it's got a great sound, and of course it comes from the famous stable of Mesa Boogie, who make some exceptionally brilliant larger amps. So this is actually the smallest amp they make in the range. As far as price goes, you can pick them up for about £550, that's $800 second hand. They were actually first made in 1987, so you can really only get them second hand now. But fantastic sounding amp, highly recommended, it rocks. So I hope that you've really enjoyed this video about the Mesa Boogie Studio 22 Combo. So stay tuned, bye for now.